The Polish-Ottoman War of 1633–1634 refers to one of the many military conflicts between the mighty United Crown of the Kingdom of Poland and the Grand Duchy of Lithuania, the Ottoman Empire and its vassals. Background: Mehmed Abazi was the governor of the Ottoman province of Silistria. In 1632, after the death of the Polish king Sigismund III Vasa, the Tsardom of Russia broke an armistice and started a war with the Commonwealth. Abazi mobilized his troops and called Moldavian, Wallachian and Nogai Tatar as reinforcements. Abazi was ambitious and possibly acted without the sultans of the Grand Vizier's knowledge, as the Ottoman Empire was deeply involved with the war against the Safavids. The Sultan claimed ignorance of Abazi's actions, but it's possible that Sultan Murad IV secretly agreed to the risky campaign against the mighty Commonwealth. 1633. Around June 29, 1633, a strong Tatar group of Bajak horde raided the area near the city of Kamieniec-Podolsky. This raid ended and the Tatars returned to Moldavia with the loot and Jasyr. Meanwhile, the Commonwealth commander, Hetman Stanislaw Konispolski, was in Bar and moved immediately in pursuit with 2,000 cavalry when the news reached him. The Hetman crossed the Dniestr River and entered the Ottoman-controlled territory of Moldavia, which had been the theater of the previous Commonwealth-Ottoman War just a few decades earlier. The Tatars probably thought they were safe and slowed down, thus allowing Hetman to catch with them on July 4 near Sasoy Roget River Prut. Several dozens of Tatars were killed and captured, the rest dispersed. Among captives were several high-ranking Tatars and Khan Temir's son-in-law. Most of loot, all captives, cattle and horses were recovered. Konispolski, who had an extensive spy network through the region and was responsible for much of the Commonwealth foreign policy there, had probably known about Abazi's plans at this moment. He returned to the left bank of Dniestr, started the construction of a fortified camp near Kamieniec-Podolsky and called for reinforcement of about 3,000 regular troops in his disposition, Cossacks and private troops of magnates. Abazi started his march in the second half of September with Ottoman troops from his province, vassal troops and about 5,000–10,000 Tatars, including almost the whole Bajak horde led by Khan Temir. In mid-October he was near Shokim and learned about Konispolski's preparations. Abazi started negotiations, probably wanting to outmaneuver Konispolski by diplomacy. It is possible that he got news about the Sultan's increasing dissatisfaction, and decided to hurry his plans. Abazi crossed the Dniestr about October 20. Khan Temir started his attacks on October 20 and continued during the next day. On October 22, Abazi attacked with his full forces but was repelled with heavy losses and ordered a retreat. One can only speculate why. Did he get orders from Constantinople? Did he not believe that he could defeat Konispolski, or did he hear the false news that more Cossacks' reinforcements were coming to aid Konispolski? 1634. In next year a full war with the Ottoman Empire was close. However, the Sultan suffered from another failure. His vassal, Khan of Crimea Kanabek II, had decided to attack Muscovy. Muscovy troops were fighting with Polish troops, then Polish Ukraine was bolstered by Cossacks and Konispolski's troops, and besides, many times Tatars themselves offered to the Commonwealth to raid Muscovy in exchange for gifts. About 20,000 strong Tatar army attacked Muscovy in 1632, probably stronger in 1633. Attacks continued in 1634. In June 1634, Tatars operated in the area of Kursk, Ural, and Mtsensk. A year later they attacked Lesser Nogai Horde and Azedovi Horde. In 1636 Crimean Tatars attacked again and Greater Nogai Order changed their allegiance to Crimea. Southern defences were destroyed, the country depopulated. Russian historians accuse Poles of coordinating their attacks with those of Tatars. Meanwhile, the Commonwealth victories against Muscovy caused the Tsar to decide to seek peace with the Polish new king, Vladislav IV. A new peace treaty in Polanowo was signed in June 1634. The terms of the previous treaty were confirmed, and in exchange for a large amount of money, Vladislav resigned of the Tsar title. After that, Vladislav with some of his troops went south to Ukraine. In September 1634 about 29,000 Commonwealth soldiers were concentrated near Kamieniec-Podolsky. Expanded regular troops of Konispolsky, 5,500 infantry and dragoons that came with King from Smolensk. Private troops of magnates and mercenaries hired by provinces. Commonwealth was making preparations for war. Smolensk campaign has shown that Polish infantry reform program had succeeded. New reforms in artillery were introduced which resulted in creation of new centers of cannon making, and additionally Cossacks could be mobilized. So the whole situation has changed dramatically. Instead of opening a second front and attack on soft belly of desperately fighting Commonwealth, the Sultan would have to confront the whole power of a victorious king. In order to explain the previous year's misunderstandings, the Sultan sent his envoy Chavish Shahin Aga to Warsaw, blamed Abizi and promised to punish him. Abizi tried to hide or cover his failure, sending the Sultan rich gifts, however was called to Istanbul and offered silk robe. The peace treaty was extended, and the Sultan promised to displace the Bajak horde, but never did so. Additionally, Abizi was relieved, and the new governor of Silistria got orders not to make any mischief. In 1635 Murad IV started a war with Persia, conquered Azerbaijan, occupied Tabriz and captured Baghdad in 1638.